Hello, I'm Kim Malinowski. I'm one of the hosts of the Terra Nova Lyceum. I assume you guys know that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess I don't know if I have announcements so much as I have a confession. I've been the last week concussed, I guess. I didn't go to the doctor, but it's very clear that I had a head trauma, and I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anyone to skip my classes. And not just here, I teach several places. And I also just wanted to, go on with life as close to normal as I could. I did do a lot less screen time. So I just want to like put that out there that if you didn't see me online as much, that's why no screen. Joyce Carol Oates up there, and Native Voices, and several other huge anthologies. Cascaded, which I'm never using in my poetry again. So I always say I want to be cascaded by books. I was. It's not so cool. I was awful. Monday, Sunday, I was in shock. I think, and the entire time I could go to my Chinese food restaurant, so it could have been that bad, but it was enough to really sort of make me a little dicey. And I didn't tell any like of my bosses or whoever you want to call them, the people that I barter with for different things. I didn't tell them because I didn't want. Who knows what I didn't want? Was it judgment? Was it anything else? Was it pride? I don't know. But I thought I would make the confession here. I'm not putting it on regular Facebook yet, if ever. Just so you know, um, I think like three people knew. My gentleman friend, another friend that was reading for me, and then my family. That's about it. So if you get a weird reading, it is probably just me. I'm doing pretty well. It's been a week, and I'm like, okay, okay. Now we are going to use the Hocus Pocus deck for our primary one, okay? And for our more like a clarifying sort of thing, I love this one, The Journey. I do like it. I really, really do. Okay, so to start with, this is really technically for the week of the 2nd through, I want to say 9th. Oh, I was right, 9th. Easter. So those of you celebrating Easter, happy Easter. Those of you, I'm certain Passover has to be going on probably as we speak. I don't know if you say happy Passover, my friends, but blessed Passover. How about that? And yeah, please. I hope you have beautiful springs. I'm ready for Beltane myself. Oh yeah. Beltane and Samhain are my two Sabbaths. All right. So the first card that we got dun, 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 was the Knight of Lightning. And this is again from the Hocus Pocus deck. We know this gentleman, right? The bus driver. All right. So the Knight of Lightning we got up right. And I do have to read these because they have kind of like random sort of things, okay? The Knight of Lightning seizes every opportunity with zeal and fearlessness. He is not afraid to charge headfirst into adventure or proudly proclaim what he believes. When others hesitate, they look to him to encourage them onward. And that's not exactly like what we think about the character in the movie, right? We sort of think of Sarah sitting on his lap and, all that sort of stuff. But he does sort of like charge into battle, right? He charges and keeps going, no stopping. So let us consider this, okay? You either have a knight somewhere, male, female, doesn't matter, non-binary, no gender, doesn't matter. Just a person that was feeling the night, okay? As the night charges in, and it definitely could be us. And I have to admit, as we go into April, I feel like I am charging. So it probably is more of us, but I have to give, this is a general reading, the whole deal, okay? So our second card was inverted. You can see it's a skeleton singer. All right. So this is the King of Candles, which is my assumption is that it's wands. Um, so the king has become arrogant, condescending, refusing to hear the opinions of others. He dictates the actions of others to suit his moods. Beware, for his charisma masks condescension. He does not have others' best interests at heart. Now, you can either look at this as a warning in terms of that night person or somebody coming in, somebody that's interacting maybe at work or something, or you can see it in yourself a bit. A little high horse, a little high strung. Maybe you have a really strong opinion about something, and maybe you might not have to change that opinion, but you might have to allow other people's opinions in. And like that is like one of the most difficult things to do. Either way, to either change your opinion or to let somebody else, have an opinion that's not yours and exist in the same room together. It's possible, but sometimes it's difficult. So that would be if it was a personal sort of thing, like I'm working on this, right? The other thing, of course, is that you're interacting with somebody that's like that. And then you still have to exist in the room, most likely. If it's work or if it's family. I mean, you can cut people off. I have, but like it doesn't always, I mean, like that's not always the solution. It sort of depends, right? Sometimes we have to like hold the ickiness within us and like just learn to let go a little bit. Okay? Keep that in mind. This is the world. That's the ghost, of course, going back. Okay, so this is technically the end of the fool's journey in the stack. All right, but it's inverted, slightly stuck. The ghosts haven't quite come back. Thackeray, Danny, Max, and Allison's journey come to an end as dawn rises, but it's not an easy adventure to finish. They feared the Sanderson sisters and were uncertain if they could succeed. You feel similarly afraid, unable to meet the end of your journey. You may currently lack the vision to accomplish your goals. Take the time to reflect on lessons learned and hardships endured. Why do you hesitate? That's a stuckness, right? There is a stuckness, and I don't want this to end. So maybe there's a lingering of something you want to cling to, something that needs to change that you want to cling to. This can be in any different way. It can be love, it can be work. Work isn't working out, but you don't want to talk to your boss. But and the other thing is, journeys are always hard to end. It's hard to say goodbye. But like the thing is that journeys really don't end until we're dead, maybe. And if you don't count that, you count reincarnation or something else, then it still doesn't end, right? So journeys just sort of stop and then another journey begins. If you want to consider it that way, sort of like a stop in the road. There's an overall journey. So if your journey isn't over, there's no need to fear. And what gets us stuck is generally fear. Or, yeah, so like, why don't I want to say I love you out loud? Because I might be rejected. Is it a real fear? Yes. Has it happened? Many, 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 many times. So am I going to say it out loud or just write it? So far, I'm just writing it. It's kind of stuck. It could be the end of a journey, beginning of another. And yet here I am, right, hovering. So it doesn't have to be love, obviously. That is my personal one. But like, think about it. Okay, what is being offered that you're not willing to take because you're too scared? Or maybe scared is not quite the word. Maybe it's just apprehensive. Maybe you're thinking of things that could go wrong or things could go right. Weighing up the options. That takes time. And sometimes we don't have that time. That's being stuck. Okay. So it's these three cards. It's pretty much a go forth, right? You're supposed to be going forward. I'm supposed to be going forward. There's this sort of like energy of I'm either too good to go forward or like there's something judgmental, right? There's something right there, something on the tip of the tongue, and that's just like, eh. And then the stuckness. Now, I did pull cards, like I said. So our first card was the inverted Queen of Swords. All right, this is from the journey. And it's called the Honest Queen. And she was inverted. I feel like that sword goes a lot towards us now when it's inverted. And I think that is sort of like a little bit of not being honest with ourselves. And maybe it's not even not being honest, but not believing, right? Let's go back to the love metaphor. Well, if I can write it and it's not rejected, could I say it out loud? I don't know. The fear is there. That sword is, piercing my breast, right? I don't know. I don't know if I can. Same deal. Not being honest with myself. Because I'm saying I can't. I definitely could. There might be repercussions. And we have to be willing to have those repercussions. And like this goes exactly with that stuck card. So I mean, like, so it really did definitely go with it. Now, while it was over here in my pile, it went the opposite of inverted. What does Kim want to say? It went upright. Okay. So it's upright now. It did change. And I do believe that that is important. Okay. So that means that between when I drew it and when it was laying over there, we sort of like had change within ourselves, within the energy around us. So we can be honest with ourselves. Let's say it's like this, right? We have the possibility of being honest with ourselves, and we can make it this way. Okay. So there was a change. And then we got the Emperor. Very stable, very secure, of course, is what it says. Very focused, very forthright, knows what he or they want. It doesn't have to be male, right? Knows what they want. Very, very clear. So I believe this is part of the journey. The next part, the unstuckness. Okay. I think it'll change. Now, will it change within the week? That is what this is for, right? It's for the week. But it doesn't have to. I mean, like, sometimes we have to go within, think about it, change, and it takes time. Don't beat yourself up about that. But at some point, I have a feeling it's not just like we're meeting the emperor. I have a feeling we become emperor. We have that status. We have that feel. We are confident within ourselves. And that leads us to our final card, which is always one that I like. It is always like online called the soulmate card. And of course, it doesn't have to be. Oh, it actually says reciprocity. Oh, I'm sorry. Reciprocity and soulmates, the Two of Cups. So we end on this after we deal with this stuckness, this feeling of perhaps arrogance or uppityness or trauma triggered, and become more like the emperor through being the queen of, I mean, like, there's a little path going on with these. There's a path. And then we wind up with the Two of Cups. And soulmates doesn't mean like if you're bonded right now, it doesn't mean anything like, oh, I'm gonna get another soulmate. Oh my gosh. No, it just means that you're comfortable with yourself, you're happy, your cups are full, and you give to each other and you give back. And that each other can be the entire community. It doesn't have to be just one person, you know? So, yes, soulmates, okay, but definitely also soulmates. We live within a solar family, and it doesn't have to be like just, oh, I have 5 people and we're all in a soul. So I always say small acts matter. And I do that. And I say that because it's much easier to do small acts than large ones. But small acts add up. And at the same time, each time you do a small act for a person, I feel like you are energetically connecting to them. They become part of your family in some sense. So just remember that. How many people have you been nice to? How many have you been kind to? How many do you have to sort of like maybe just be with? And then, even if you're just like tolerating them, that sort of is like a sort of gift. Okay. So, not an easy reading at all. But I think one that's forthcoming and that will help us grow. And this is a perfect season to grow. Uh, I'm not I'm not a Christian any longer, so I'm not gonna do a blessing or a sermon or anything, but happy Easter. Um, blessed Passover. I know there's a million different things. Post what you are celebrating, please. I would love to hear about it. I love hearing about, rituals or anything. And like by ritual, I don't just mean like, oh, pagan ritual. I mean like, yeah, I go to mass and this is what I do. And I do these type of eggs and I do like, like just let us know, please. Please let us know. And especially me because I just I'm obsessed with like different people's celebrations. I wish I could do them all, but I'm like, it's appropriation. But can I watch you? Can I? So please have a wonderful week. Whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. And at least eat some chocolate, right? It's gonna be on sale soon. Take care. Be well. So it is.